The main themes, energies, circumstances coming up for Cancerians in the month of April 2025, please. All right, you have conflict in reverse. So this is it, conflict in reverse. You are no longer feeling like it's you versus the world, Cancer, right? Because we felt like no one understood us. No one understands the emotional depth of a Cancerian. No one understands the amount of crap that gets dumped on a Cancerian shoulder, you know? Because we are the moon mother, you know? We handle all of the things that people do not want to handle, the things that are unseen, you know, that which lies in the shadows, you know, the undesirable emotions, the heavy lifting on an emotional level. Cancers do that very well. So for a lot of you guys, you feel like you was carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, especially when it comes to emotions, when it comes to the collective shadow. But what you're realizing now, Cancer, is that you finally learned what the universe has been trying to relate to you, that you simply don't have to. That was never your job, right? You were never meant to be the one to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. No, actually, you were meant to be the one to lead by example on how to carry your own emotional weight and carry it well, to the point where you do know how to sift through certain emotions, you know how to release certain things, you know what you can alchemize, what you can transmute, okay? And knowing that everything has its ebb and flow, okay? And going with it. So it's about, rather than feeling like you are at odds with the world, that actually you are sort of holding a torch when it comes to the processing of emotions, okay? When it comes to navigating those more challenging aspects of life. So that's what's coming up for you this month, Cancer. You're coming to a place where you're finally accepting and realizing that you are not actually at odds with anything or anyone, not even yourself, okay? And that actually everything is coming into alignment for you, okay? That everything is actually supporting you at this time, okay? Because bearing in mind, you're used to being the one holding the weight of the world up, supporting everyone and yourself. But this is the time where you get to be supported, where people get to show up for you, okay? Where literally the universe itself, the world itself is showing up for you. And just reaffirming what you're finally understanding, that it was never about making you the scapegoat or making you carry the weight of the world. It was to help you realize just how insightful you are when it comes to navigating the emotions that we experience and different circumstances that are emotionally challenging, okay, that have strong emotional connotations, you know, especially, like I say, when it comes to like shadow aspects and the healing journey and the inner child, right? Healing mother wounds, father wounds, divine masculine, divine feminine energy, okay? You are the forerunners of that. So you actually are supposed to be leading by example when it comes to that, right? That doesn't mean you carry the weight for everybody, no. But you show people the way by leading by example. And that's what you're coming to realize this month, okay? So this, if you truly integrate this understanding, Cancer, this is going to change how you navigate life. This is going to change how your interpersonal relationships, the dynamics within them play out. Okay, look, I even see great achievement at the bottom of the deck, okay? I'm telling you, you see? It's going to change everything. It's going to change how your interpersonal relationships play out. And by letting go of that, like, sort of wounded healer energy or wounded warrior energy, right? And understanding that actually, you know, you are a guide, you are a support system, you are a forerunner when it comes to navigating these aspects, okay? That changes everything for you. Tell me more about this for Cancerians. 7 of Wands in reverse. Exactly. What do you have to be defensive for? Who are you trying to defend yourself against? Who do you think is coming for you? Who do you think you're at odds with? Whoever was possibly being an antagonist in your life, they can't do anything anymore. That energy is gone. Those circumstances are over. right? And it's like, you don't even realize how protected you are, to the point where the universe is like, you can let your guard down. This is going to be very surprising, but a massive change for you guys in the best possible way. Because like I say, no more you feel like you've got the short straw, or, you know, you're the scapegoat, okay? Again, wounded warrior, wounded healer energy. That's been completely transmuted. So you're just the warrior, the healer. Exactly, the star in reverse. On some level, you still are suppressing with the star in reverse. Okay, so this is obviously going to take time. This is not an overnight change. No, this is going to take time. So I get it, okay? I'm not expecting you to be like, oh, okay, everything's fine now, so I'm just going to be out in my full glory doing whatever I want. No, I get that. Slowly but surely, it's like the universe is coaxing you out of the shell and letting you know it's safe to be you, Cancer. The world isn't going to come for you if you step out of your shell. It's safe to be out here and be that shining, guiding light. All right, tell me more for Cancerians. Yeah, the Hermit in reverse. It's time to come out the shell, Cancer. You've already learned what you needed to learn from those experiences, right? You've had your time for being a hermit, okay? Having to retreat, having to introspect, okay? Having to do the shadow work, right? So you may feel like, oh, but there's more done. There's more healing to be done. Yes, of course. But you got to remember, healing is a lifelong commitment. It's not a one-time deal, you know? You'll have cycles of needing to go into the cave and do that deep inner healing. But it's time for you to come out. You've been in the cave long enough, Cancer. It's time to experience life. It's time to interact with life again, okay? It's time to show the world who you are. Because you are needed, my friend. I don't think you realize that. You are needed. I'm sorry if some of you guys felt like life and people have made you feel like your light wasn't needed or necessary, or there was something wrong with being who you are, but that's not the case at all. That's why the universe is literally mobilizing in such a way to prove it to you that it's safe for you to be you and that you have nothing to worry about. Like, you don't even have to even have your guard up because you're so protected. Yeah, exactly. Because you're keeping yourself at the crossroads. You're keeping yourself in a stagnant place between two timelines, between two life paths, experiences, right? Because, like I say, that past circumstance, that past circle, interesting. So there may have been a specific circle, okay, that was gunning for you in some shape or form, but you're not part of that circle anymore, or that circle has been dismantled, you know, whatever the case may be, because it's not by coincidence I said circle, right, instead of cycle. But whatever the case may be, that cycle is over, okay? That situation is done. Whatever you needed to learn from that, you've already learned. But now you get to be a guiding light for others. You may have to navigate those dark night of the souls, okay? Those initiations, those challenges, okay, in life when it comes to being on this journey, you know? And like I say, especially being fearless enough, bold enough to just be very much yourself, being able to explore your emotions in a healthy way, being able to work with your shadow, work with your inner child, right? Be a nurturer to oneself, okay? And be a symbol of that. Yeah, exactly. Judgment in reverse. But ultimately, you know, it's up to you. Change won't occur until you actually change. You do not have to have the same fears going into this new cycle, this new timeline that you had in the past, because you're not going to experience those things in the same way. Because the universe is protecting you at all costs. I'm telling you, if you resonate with this, it literally is. You don't even have to have your guard up. 7 of Wands in reverse. Of course, you want to use discernment, right? But you don't have to be afraid at all. Because I will move mountains until you feel like it's safe enough to come out again. Once you really get back out there in that way, look at what lies. Look at what lies for you. These great achievements, these great feats, right? Because like I say, you are meant to lead by example, especially when it comes to sharing a story, right? Inspiring others by having shown what can be achieved even after experiencing all of this.